Friends, urgently, today the situation on the front lines is undergoing a radical change. The Russians are significantly bolstering their offensive capabilities. It is reported that a new terrifying weapon has been delivered to the Special Military Operations Zone. Horses from Bashkortostan are now actively engaged in combat operations. Russian media proudly announced that in the Special Military Operations Zone, horses from Bashkortostan have started fulfilling tasks that were transferred to Russian military forces. Russian occupiers fighting in Ukraine have received two horses from Bashkortostan, which will now transport cargo instead of trucks. If the experiment proves successful, the number of horses is planned to increase to 10, according to reports from Chesapeake site in Russian media. And the commander of the regiment with the call sign Bashkir stated, in which the horses serve, they will be used for silent cargo delivery to positions and for maneuvering around positions. Friends, this is the serious might of the Russian army. If anyone thought this was a fake, no, it's actually true, and the photos confirm it. Overall, the second army in the world is gaining momentum. Now I think it's time to enjoy this chemical news pieces. Let's move on to the situation on the front lines. But before we continue, I kindly ask you to share this video on social media and watch it till the end. It will greatly help promote my channel. Thanks. Today, we are witnessing a gradual advancement of the Ukrainian armed forces. Experts claim that the possibility of reaching the Azov coast by autumn exists. Therefore, intense battles are currently taking place in the direction of Tokmak. Yesterday, it was confirmed that Ukrainian forces have advanced and established positions between Novoprokopivka and Verbove. The distance covered was almost 2 kilometers, and the offensive is ongoing. Ukrainian forces are pressuring the Russian defense and making life difficult for them in these settlements, so it's likely that they will have to retreat in the near future. It's clear that from Robotine to Pshenichne, the main defensive lines are crucial. Further near Tokmak, there are also reinforcements, though it's slightly small numbers. After that, there are operational spaces that could allow Ukrainian forces to break through to the Azov coast. Today, all efforts are focused on the breakthrough with an estimated 7.5 kilometers to the farthest front line and the main defense lines positioned further back. There is the possibility that a significant amount of equipment might pass through this breached defense for swift liberation in the direction of Melitopol. Overall, it's evident that the main events will unfold right here in the near future. In the Vuhledar direction, the counteroffensive seems to have halted for now. It appears that today the majority of forces were directed toward the Zaporizhia direction. Therefore, no new offensive actions from the Ukrainian armed forces are being reported here, and the occupiers continue shelling without launching any new attacks. In the direction of Kherson, the situation remains unchanged. Shelling is taking place along the entire front line, but no offensive actions are being conducted. The Russians are reporting some terrifying events happening in Crimea. It's like a horror movie scenario. In one of the military units near Yevpatoria, 14 soldiers were eliminated. Sources from the general staff and the Crimean government confirm this. According to these sources, the soldiers were killed in their sleep, some were struck in the heart, while others had their throats sealed by an unknown saboteurs. How these criminals managed to bypass security and enter the barracks is still a mystery. There are reasons to believe that the same saboteurs who acted in Sevastopol are responsible for this new crime. The search for them is ongoing. The occupiers suggest that Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups might be behind the killing. Another version suggests that the deceased sailors might have been retaliated against for some offense or conflict on personal ground. However, this version raises doubts among the occupiers because they believe their criminals acted too professionally and cold-bloodedly. All the deceased were from various regions of Russia. Their bodies were secretly sent home from Sevastopol. Whether it was a Ukrainian reconnaissance group or Russians turning against each other remains uncertain. So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, in the Kupiansk direction, it appears that the Russians are still planning a serious breakthrough. According to preliminary information, over 120,000 Russian soldiers have been assembled from Kupiansk to Crimean today. However, as we can see, no new offensive actions are being carried out, only shelling continues. Despite large concentration, past combat results haven't yielded great successes for the occupiers. Therefore, despite the significant build-up, there is possibility that they won't succeed in advancing and capturing Kupiansk this time either. In total, if we consider the entire Liman-Kupiansk direction, there are around 110,000 Russian servicemen. However, if we segment it, for example, in the Kupiansk direction there are 45,000, and in the Liman direction there are 48,000 Russian occupation forces. So battles are ongoing in the Svatova area. For several days now, the occupiers have been attempting to capture Avdiivka and conducting shelling. According to experts, they aim to break through to Borova to cut off the groups from behind and encircle the area of Kupiansk to Borova. However, it seems like a daunting task for the Russians. Executing a 25-kilometer advance in the Svatova direction is unlikely. In the Crimean and Siversk regions, shelling continues along the entire front line. Periodic strikes in the Crimean area are being reported. Let's hope for positive news from this direction. Perhaps the Ukrainian forces are attempting to make progress here. The situation in the Bakhmut direction is very complex. The occupiers are advancing towards Orikhovo-Vasilievka, approximately 3.5 kilometers from the front line. Some experts suggest that the area is heavily mined, but apparently the occupiers are successfully navigating through them. Therefore, battles are taking place right in the vicinity of the liberated village. However, over the past day, they were unable to secure their positions, and the Ukrainian forces repelled all attacks. Further to the south, intense battles continue for Klishchiivka, accompanied by shelling. Unfortunately, the occupiers with a significant force are progressively getting closer to the village, making it difficult for the Ukrainian forces to maneuver for the encirclement of Bakhmut. For now, they must hold their defense, but no changes have been observed in the past day. Hence, we are monitoring how events will unfold. In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers are still attempting to encircle the city, aiming to declare some form of victory, and the second largest army in the world has struggled for a long time to shift the front line. Battles persist in the Stepove area, with shelling alone ongoing in Orlivka and Tonenke. Additionally, yesterday evening, explosions were heard in Donetsk. Details are currently unavailable. Further south, attacks by Russian forces continue in Mariinka, yet the Ukrainian forces maintain their defense and the front line remains unchanged. Meanwhile, on the Russian side, they have started assembling Shahed drones within the territory. We've previously covered this topic in one of my earlier episodes. However, back then it was about isolated incidents. After the recent Shahed drone attacks on Ukraine, they discovered elements indicating that these unmanned aerial vehicles are now being manufactured in Russia. As stated by a representative of the main intelligence directorate, the aggressor has plans to ramp up Shahed drone production on Russian soil. He added that during one of the Russian defense industry exhibitions, it was announced that Moscow aims to produce around 60 various modifications of unmanned aerial vehicles by 2030. According to Skibitsky, preliminary main intelligence directorate data suggest that the Russians plan to manufacture 130 units of the Giran-2 drones or Shahed in the second half of this year. They intend to use components from both foreign and domestic production. Nonetheless, the main intelligence directorate representatives believe that Russia currently lacks the capacity to produce such a quantity of unmanned aerial vehicles. Currently, intelligence is gathering data on the actual production capacity of the enemy, where they're assembling these drones, and which Russian enterprises are involved in supplying parts. It's also worth highlighting a few words about Russian propaganda. On August 28, the Russian embassy in South Africa posted a map of countries that could become BRICS members in 2024, where the Crimea, occupied by Russia, was depicted as part of Ukraine. The embassy posted this map on their account on X, formerly Twitter. However, after a while, the post was deleted. However, the photo managed to spread across the internet. It seemed that those responsible for Russian propaganda can't agree on what to write. But as we know, the internet remembers everything. And if they deleted the post from the account, it doesn't mean they deleted it from people's memories. Overall, another failure by the Russians. And that's all from me. Don't forget to support the channel with likes, subscriptions, and make sure to hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.